Connecting. There we go. That works. That works. That works. Tashik. Okay. Trodan, Steph, what's going on? All right. Good evening. Good evening. All righty. Good evening, everyone. My name is James. This is Dividend Stock Talk, brought to you by the 10-Minute Trader. Okay. Now, the name alone should give you an inclination of what we're doing here. Dividend Stock Talk. Dividend stocks is what we're looking for. RK, Rocket Mortgage. Oh, hell no. Rocket Mortgage hasn't been around for 20 years. How could it possibly have 2 decades of profits? Now, I'm looking for 2 decades. That's 20 years of profit. Ooh, Applied Materials. Absolutely. Let's do that. Applied Materials first on the list. AMAT. Okay. Look specifically out courteous. If you don't have something nice, say, don't say anything at all. This is all voluntary. You don't really need to be here. So if you're not going to be polite, I just assume you leave. You know, it is what it is. We're all adults. So let's act like it if we can. So I'm going to show you for free. I'm not going to try to sell you anything. There's not going to be any pitch at the end of the evening. Trust me, I'm not going to sell you anything. Don't trust me. Don't trust anybody online. That's a silly thing to say. I'm not going to sell you anything. We're all adults. We know how it works. If you want to buy something that I've done, go to the bio, search the website, that kind of stuff. Here is just education only. I'm creating a video dialogue, a video diary for my children and my grandchildren. And you just so happen to be here to observe it and participate. Okay, so what I'm looking to do is show you a trading strategy that I created for my 9-year-old daughter. Okay, in 2008. Okay, in 2008, my 9-year-old daughter says to me, Daddy, what are you doing? Can you teach me? That's what my 9-year-old daughter said to me in 2008. Not, can we go buy a dress? Daddy, can I get this new haircut? Daddy, can you get me this? No, Daddy, can you teach me? 9-year-old little girl wanted to learn how to trade stocks. Now, the tricky thing about that is most adults don't even know how to do it. Most adults, you can ask anyone, most adults have no clue what to do in the stock market. Very few. So my 9-year-old wants to learn. So here, being a responsible father, I want to create a trading strategy specifically for her. So here's my challenge. 9 years old. Had to be simple. It had to be safe, predictable, and no way for her to lose. Now, we all know why that number 5 is there. No way for her to lose. Because a 9-year-old little girl starts losing her money. Guess what? She's mad. She's going to be upset. Daddy's going to be that guy. Well, I'm going to feel like crap. Then mama gets involved. What happens when mama gets involved? Little baby girl's unhappy? Yeah, daddy's sleeping on the couch. For you guys, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That being said, so simple, safe, predictable, consistent, no way for her to lose. So in order to create a trading strategy for her, I came up with 5 rules. Simple rules. I use them myself. A lot of people go wrong on number 1. Never pick a stock that you do not want to own long-term or you do not understand what they do. You should understand everything about a company before you put your money into it. That's number 1. Number 2. Never sell at a loss. It's the purpose of the whole game. Yes, it is a game. Just like Monopoly's a game where you buy 4 red houses, 1 green hotel. Go around a few times, rack up a few bucks. That's the same thing. The stock market is a game for adults. We invest our money, put it someplace we believe to be safe. We believe that it's going to benefit us at some time in the future. Okay. Rule number 3. This is one most people get wrong, in my humble opinion. Rule number 3 is make sure the company is consistently profitable. Do you hear that? Consistently profitable. If I'm going to give my money to some stranger, because who really knows the CEO, the CFO, the CMO, all those people? Who knows people really? Seriously. So you're going to put your money, I'm going to put my money into a company that I believe is consistently profitable. This is one people always get wrong, 2 days. Now, when I'm looking figures and I say 2 decades, that does not mean 2 months, does not mean 2 quarters, does not mean 2 years. It means 2 decades. That's 20 years. 20 years of consistent profit for them to earn my money. Now, stock market's been around for 400 years, so 20 years should really not be that difficult. And believe there are plenty of companies out there that are over 50 years old, that are over 100 years old. So why not invest in those companies? They're safe. Because think of it this way. What has the U.S. economy seen in the last 100 years? World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, the Great Depression, stock market crash at 29, 87, 2000, 2008, 2021, 2025. Whatever. We've seen a lot of crap. Yet these companies, handful of companies, still consistently profitable. Why not? Now, just in case you didn't know, if you're here looking for tips, looking for advice, the advice I give is nothing to do with what stocks to buy. Now, I'll tell you simple stuff like, don't stick your head out too far. Am I got a car? Hey, I'll give that advice to you. But no, I don't give advice, I don't give tips. I will take a look at whatever you want to look at. But consistently profitable. Rule number 4, weekly options only. Now, if you remember the title of the show, Dividend Stock Talk, that's the title. The subtitle is Dividend Investing for Weekly Cash Flow. Not once in there does it say a company pays weekly dividends. I don't know if any company pays weekly dividends. I like dividend stocks to earn weekly cash flow. And to do that, I use stock options, specifically a covered call. It's simple, it's easy, it's safe, and it's predictable. Rule number 5, make sure all the numbers work. Now, I'm going to get an example for each one of those rules and those criteria as the evening progresses. Now, I'm going to be here till 11. Ask whatever questions you like. I promise I'll try to get to every single question. But remember a few things. Number 1, you're not the only person here. Okay, there are 9 different platforms. So I'm broadcasting on 9 different platforms. So if I don't get to your question right away, I apologize. I will try to get to as many as I possibly can. Now, I do some way to communicate with you, and that I apologize. Now, that is the easiest one. Simple, easy. You can actually see everything right there in front of the screen. That's the easiest one. Okay, YouTube, not so easy. Facebook, not so easy. So on and so forth, all the other companies. But we're going to go through each and every single strategy. Not here. Don't get old. Seriously. Okay, I'm 61 years old. Okay, I'm actually going this month to the Social Security office so I can start the paperwork. Because from what I understand, it takes weeks in order to get it done. So I get to collect Social Security in January. So, yep, I got to start the paperwork this month. That being said, the money I have accumulated in my working life has to pay for my living expenses. Okay? So whatever you think, however much money you think I have, I probably don't. I have enough to live comfortably. Now, comfortably is different for everybody. $5,000 a month might be comfortable for you. $10,000 a month might not be enough. We're all different. We're all on a different journey. Stop comparing yourself to other people. Just because the guy next door bought a brand new car doesn't make you less of a person. Okay? We're all on our own separate journeys. We all have our own goals. We all have our own, what do you call that? Risk factors. So what's good for me might not be good for you. Now, I'm not going to hold any punches, okay? So I'm a Gen Xer. We really don't care about your feelings. Honestly, there's no safe space. If you say something stupid, I'm going to call you out on it, okay? When you want me to take a look at something such as yield max funds, I'm going to say, hell no, what the hell's the matter with you? Anthony, seriously, have you checked out all the numbers for yield max? Any one of their funds? Seriously, check out how often have they increased year after year after year after year their dividends? Because a dividend is a portion of the company's profits. If the company's consistently profitable, well, their dividends will increase year after year after year. And the reason, I get this question all the time, James, why do you only do dividend stocks? Because dividend stocks are consistent, they're predictable, and they do the same things over and over and over again. So if you knew a company is going to do the same thing over and over and over again, well, that's one little tidbit of information in your favor. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to stack all the odds and probabilities in my favor. Because contrary to popular belief, I don't have the luxury of being wrong. Isn't that something weird to say? I don't have the luxury of being wrong, which means you might see me if I'm wrong. Hey, good afternoon. Welcome to Walmart. Would that be paper or plastic? No, that is not me. Okay, I was the CEO in my former life when I actually had a manufacturing company and I had employees. Could you imagine that? Me being the boss? No, I can't imagine that either. But anyway, let's go. So you guys are going to give me stocks to take a look at. I'm going to take a look at them. I'm going to give you my opinion based on the trading strategy I specifically put together for my 9-year-old daughter. Okay, so remember that. If you can't understand what I'm trying to say, ask your question in another fashion. Okay, if you don't really understand it, get your kids to come in and listen to what I say. It took my daughter 15 minutes to understand everything. 15 minutes. And she wasn't the sharpest knife in the drawer. As a matter of fact, if it's working tonight, it didn't work last night, but let's check to see if I can do 2. By the way, she hates that. I'm not a yeah, well, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so here's the website, The 10-Minute Trader. You'll see everything. Simple, safe, predictable, consistent, 1% per week, nightly training, 9 p.m. Why isn't this thing moving? We had the same problem last night. There it is. There it is. I'm going to go to video. Now, I was just informed recently that we hold on, I'll show it to you. I was amazed myself when I saw this. That means I've been doing this for a while. What we're going to do is we're going to go back to videos, okay, and we're going to look at the oldest videos, right there, the oldest ones. And here she is, right there. Here's the little princess. Let's show you and introduce you to her.
Being part of that, you're getting stocks that I'll be trading, and every month you'll be getting 4 lists of stocks that you can choose from that'll help you get the best return on money.
Now, quite a while ago,
List number 1.
and here, look at all the hair. Oh my goodness.
What does that mean? That means every single day you can buy a different stock.
Yay! Okay, so here's the thing. Trying to teach a 9-year-old to trade stocks. I had to make it fun and exciting for my daughter. Now, this was about 15 years ago. Look at all that hair. Oh my God, not a bit of gray either. Oh, I wish I was that old again. Damn it. Anyway. All right, so there's plenty of videos. Look, and you'll see I basically say the exact same things over and over and over again. Let's go here. I want to show you something real quick. Slide all the way down. Oops, yep, all the way down. Those are all my trades 2024. Here we go. My very first post on the trades. Now, I've been trading since the 1990s. I didn't start sharing my trading and my experience until August 2021. Do you see that? 2011, sorry. 2011. That was a long time ago. Okay? My first year, I averaged 9% per month. Second year was 8%. Third year was 3% per month. What happened in year 3? That was 2013. But you can see, back in those days, we didn't have video. Okay? We couldn't upload. So it was all, what do you call it? Blog post. So every day, I would do my trades, and I would do my blog post. Okay? That was in 2011. So now we're here in 2025, 3 years ago. Someone gave me a camera and said, hey, just tell people what you do. Share what you know. Well, 3 years later, here we are. Okay, we're up to, I believe, anywhere between 10,000 and 20,000 people will come through this channel every night. Now, we are on 9 different platforms, so yeah, they're all separated. But the point is, I've been doing this for a while. Does it work? Yeah, it works. Is it guaranteed? No. There's only 3 guarantees in life, and not everybody knows all 3 guarantees, but there's 3. So that being said, let's get back to where we're going, just to give you a little background, who I am, where I'm coming from. So I've been doing this for a while. So if you give me a stock, Okay? You tell me what it is. AMAT, applied materials. You give me something I have no clue, most likely it's going to be a no. See? That's a no. Why? Because it has to fit certain criteria. I only have 2 criteria. Only 2. That's it. 1, consistency of profitability. I don't want to put my money into a company that's not profitable. Now, when I say consistency of profitability, I want 2 decades, 20 years. That means I want to see the dividends increase every single year. And why do I want to do only dividend stocks? I'll tell you why. Let's go right here, give you an idea. Okay, this is what's called an EX dividend calendar. Okay, so step number 1, you got to get your mind right, because this is something totally different. Because as a kid growing up, it was always annual percentage rate. Well, what is that annually? Well, how much is that annually? Oh, put your money here, guaranteed 3% per year. Awesome. Dividends, 5% per year. Great. Loan, 8% per year. Wonderful. No, change your thinking. We're investing, or I'm investing, for weekly cash flow. 1% a week. That's my goal. Simple, safe, predictable, consistent, 1% per week. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm going to show you. Now, as the night progresses, everything's going to come together, and it's going to make sense. Just like a good movie. Like a good movie, everything's going to come together at the end. Okay, we're going to go through some samples. We're going to go through some trades. I'm actually going to show you what we came up with yesterday and the day before. Okay, so ask away. What do you want to look at? Oh, back to the EX dividend calendar. Now, the reason for the EX dividend calendar, step number 1, get your mind right. New thinking, new terminology, new thoughts. Actually, you're going to create, if this is something interest to you, okay, you're going to create a new regiment or a new strategy, no, a new ritual. There you go, a new morning ritual. Go to bed a little earlier, get up a little earlier. Brush your teeth, get your coffee, get your breakfast, blah, 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 all that stuff, and sit in front of your computer and do the gardening of your money. What do I mean by that? It's your money. The only thing that you're going to rely on when you get older is, how is the income going to come in? You may not think of it now, but when you're retired and the paychecks stop coming in, you still got to pay for your mortgage. You still got to pay for your insurance. You still got to pay for your groceries. You still got to pay for your car. You still got to pay for the groceries. You still got to pay for your entertainment. So just because you're retired and don't work anymore, the money has to come from somewhere. So most people think that 401k is going to save them. Sorry, you haven't read the fine print. I honestly feel bad for people sometimes because they don't read the fine print of what they're signing. Okay, a 401k really ain't that good. BP, thank you for that. So the money that I have accumulated over my working days, that gets me 1% per week. Now that 1% per week allows me to pay all my bills and allows me to enjoy myself once in a while, because I have more freedom. You wouldn't believe that the amount of, I don't want to say pressure, but the burden. Once you're retired and the income comes in on a consistent basis, it's such a wonderful existence to sleep until you're done. Okay, do whatever you want to do. Hey, what's on my list to do today? Oh, nothing. Anyway, besides the point, let's get back to what we go. So, 2. Okay, first is get your mind right, new way of thinking, new terminology, new things. The new morning routine. Sit and at least go through your money. Okay, most people spend more time planning a family barbecue than they do on their personal finances. Now, your personal finances is going to take you from when you retire, and that's going to be the key. Because when you retire, you got 3 choices. Only 3. Number 1, you can do what's called aging out. If you go to work and your boss says, "Oh, hell no, you're just too damn old, keep your ass at home." That's number 1. Number 2, you can take this job and shove it. That means your investments are making you so much money, you do not need to work anymore. Now, work, once you get to that point, it's like, do I want to go to work? Do I not go to work? Because it's an awesome situation to be in, to go to work because you want to, not because you have to. Number 3 way of retiring, they call it toe tagging. Do you know what that means? Toe tagging. That means you die on your way to work, or you die on your way home from work, or you die at work. Okay? A lot of people do that. They don't get to enjoy their retirement. Now, the retirement comes when you feel you're ready for it. And you got 3, like I said, the 3 choices. Okay? Now, the choice number 2, you can take this job and shove it, is when you make enough money from your investments where you don't need to work and you can work if you feel like it. It's a great situation to be in. All right. I'm trying to think. All right, so anyway, let's get down to it. The very first one on the list today is going to be applied material. Now, if you give me a stock to take a look at, I'm going to give you my opinion. Okay? Now, somebody want to take a look at Rocket Labs. Not Rocket Labs, Rocket Mortgage. I'm pretty damn sure Rocket Mortgage has not been around for 2 decades and has 2 decades of increased profits. As a matter of fact, what we're going to do is we're going to end up going back and forth quite often to Yahoo Finance. Okay? Now, if you're going to be an investor, if you will stay on top of things, you need access to a financial website. Something's going to tell you what is what has its profitability from over the last 5 years. What's the projection for the next 5 or 10 years? Okay? What is the book value? That is an important. The book value is the actual value of the company. Because if you take everything the company owns, all the intellectual property, all the real estate, all the assets the company owns, and in fact all the debt that it owes, that what's left is the value of the company. It amazes me where people will put money into a company with a value of $4. $4 per share value, and it pays 1 penny a share, and the stock price is $200. Why would you pay $200 a share for it that pays 1 penny dividend and has a book value of $4.11? That makes no sense to me. And the company's not even 50 years old. Let's take the flip side. Here's another company. It's over 100 years old. It's got a value of $67. It's got a revenue per share of $187 per share. The dividend is a hell of a... I don't know what the dividend is off the top of my head. But the book value is higher than the stock price. Imagine that. A company that's over 100 years old has a book value. That means all the assets are worth more than what the stock price costs. And it was over 100 years old. But people put their money into it. That's $200 a share, pays 1 penny dividend, and it's only worth $4 a share. And it's not even 20 years old. What the hell's the matter with people? The numbers are what the numbers are. Numbers don't lie. They are what they are. 1 plus 1 is going to equal 2 no matter where you go. All right, enough blabbing. Let's take a look. Now, somebody wanted to take a look at mortgage. Now, this is why I don't like right here. This is, what is it? RKT. RKT. What we're going to look at is historical performance of the company. Right? So in Yahoo Finance, you can find a lot of stuff. Now, I've been doing this long enough that I just go right to the meat and potatoes. I skip all the other veggies and I just go right to it. All right, so what am I looking at? Historical prices. I don't want to see the historical prices. I want to see the dividends. Because if the dividend increases, that means the profits increase. Now, I could, if I wanted to, which I don't, read 20 years of, what do you call it, annual reports, quarterly reports. No desire to do that whatsoever. Okay, so click right here. Come on. Look at this. What is that? Buffering? Come on, I don't want buffering. All right, historical prices. Why is it taking so damn long? Oh, this is not operating. Oh, man. That's disappointing. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Aren't we able to see this? All right, well, let's go to the summary. Can we at least go to the summary? No, we can't even go to the summary page. Damn it. All right, hell with it. But I know Rocket Mortgage has not been around for 20 years. So in that case, it's going to be a no. Oh, it is right there. Right? Dividends only. That's what I want. Dividends only. Oh, come on. And then, all right, you got to be kidding me. You seriously kidding me? Seriously? 3 dividends? That's it? This company only paid 3 dividends? 2021, 2022, and 25? Oh, hell no. And then it was 111, then it dropped down to 1, then it dropped down to 80. It keeps going backwards. Why the hell do you think this is a good thing? Seriously. You're putting your money into something absolutely horrible. 3 paid dividends in the last 5 years. It went from 111 to 1 to 80 cents. That's going backwards year after year after year. Why? Okay, let's do applied materials. I like applied materials. All right, back here, back here, back here, and back here. See, I know applied materials has been around for at least 50 years. All right, so now I'm going to explain something so you understand a little bit better. Today is Tuesday, which means tomorrow is Wednesday. Okay, so when I say I do weekly trading, which means I do weekly options, and considering Monday's gone and Tuesday's gone already, I just lost 40% of my potential money that I can make. Why do I say that? Because the maximum amount of time value you have on a weekly basis, the market opens at 9:30 a.m. and it closes 4 p.m. So the maximum amount of time you're going to have in 1 week is 9:30 a.m. Monday morning and 3:59 p.m. Friday afternoon. That's it. Okay, that's 100% of the week, 5 days. Okay, 1 day's gone, that's 20% gone. Tuesday's gone, that's 40% gone. So now I only have 3 days left. So I may not get my 1% if I decide to buy something tomorrow because there's only 3 days left. So most likely we'll probably end up looking at next week's. Okay, so this week, November 14, we only have 3 days left, so we might not make our 1%. So we're going to move to next week, which is the 21st of November. In that case, I'm going to want 1.5% because half the week's already gone. Do I really want to invest for 0.5% for this week? I don't know. We'll check out the numbers, and if it makes sense, sure, why not? Okay, so applied materials. I'm going to say no to applied materials this week only because look at where she is. Okay, here's the high, here's the low, here's where it was, here's where it is. Down, up, down, up, down. So it's coming down at the moment, so no. Let's zoom in a little bit closer. Now, when I look at a stock, I do everything A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. You know, it's like paint by numbers, 1 red, 2 blue, 3 green, 4 white, you know, whatever. Paint by numbers. This is the same thing. Okay, I got to pick my stocks. Okay, if you don't know, remember I said a list of stocks? Okay, get a pen, paper, mascara, crayon, marker, write it on the wall. List number 1, Dividend Kings. Now, to get the list, just go to Google. In the search, go to Bing, whatever search engine you use, Dividend Kings List 2025, and then you hit the search button, and boom, it'll show up. 54 companies that have increased their profits for 5 decades or more. There's one company that has 7. See that? 7 decades of increased profits. GPC, Genuine Parts Corporation. Now, there are monthly optional stocks. I don't really trade them, but there's a lot of good companies in there. Okay? List number 2, Dividend Aristocrats. I think there's like 67 companies that have consistently increased their profits for 25 years. That's a quarter of a century. List number 3, the Dividend Champions. These companies, the rules are a little bit different between the champions and the aristocrats, but still 25 years. And there's 150 dividend champions. Next list, dividend contenders. There's over 300 dividend contenders. And they have anywhere between 10 and 24 years of increased profits. And then lastly, we're going to take a look at Warren Buffett. Dude, what are you doing? Warren Buffett stock list 2025. It's good enough for Warren. Good enough for me. Okay? All right, so that being said, that's the 5 list, over 300 companies to choose from. Now, we check every single week. This week, you know what? Let's go check right now, just to be on the safe side. We're going to, if you know who FinViz is, a financial annual company. Where is it? Webull? Nope, FinViz, right there. So we're going to go to FinViz. Okay, let's start with FinViz.